Welcome back everyone to Showbiz India, and it is indeed my pleasure to welcome one of my perennial favorites, Shah Rukh Khan. Welcome to Showbiz India again and to USA. It's great to see you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on your show again.
So let's talk about the word zero, the number zero. I'm not sure if you are aware, it started, I think they say, in the 5th century in India from Mesopotamia. It sometimes symbolizes infinity. I wonder what was the inspiration for you to title the film?
I think just what you said, the philosophy behind the digit zero or the number zero, that it does, if there's anything which, normally we think of one as the highest, that you're number one. Anything that even starts before number one is zero. It's infinity. If you look at it from one point of view, it means limitless possibilities that zero lends itself to, depending on how it attaches itself to someone else or another number, or just as a new starting point in life. And the other side being that it's a perspective. If you start looking at yourself as a zero, you might even think of yourself as a failure. So the idea of the film stems from the fact that if you yourself or others think you are a zero, think of it as a uniqueness, not a belief that it makes you any less than anything else. You are unique because zero, if it attaches itself to numbers, it just changes them, And like you said, it's infinity, it's complete. So I think the whole concept of the film is that, which deals with incompleteness of different kinds that human beings face. For example, you have an emotional incompleteness, or a mental incompleteness, or a physical incompleteness. And despite and in spite of that, the film relays the message in a funny way. One is not to empathize or sympathize with people who think they're incomplete or who you feel are incomplete. Second, in spite of all these incompletenesses, do not try to be wasting your life in, oh, I could be, should be, would be. There's only one life, live it to the fullest. Don't waste time trying to be someone else who you're not. Accept it, move on, life will look after yourself.
Now, it seems like the underlying message to the film is of someone, a little person coming of age through love and spirituality. Are you spiritual?
Oh, I'm very spiritual. I'm extremely spiritual, but not very ritual, but very spiritual, yeah. So I have a big belief in the energy that I emanate, or the energies that I accept or expect from people. And if I don't get them, I'm not negative towards it, I just go away. I'm very spiritual. I'm a big believer of the goodness of God. I'm a big believer of all religions and their teachings. I do pray a lot also, but on my time and in my space, and I do it in a very unconventional way, because I think God listens to wherever you are, however you are.
Now, this role has to be challenging because it is of a little person, which you're obviously not, but you get into that character. And I think the very talented Kamala Hassan played that many years ago. How did you prepare for this role?
I think he went through a lot of physical stress doing it, because he had to fold his legs, and I think that was quite magical what he did in Apuraja. But we have technology with us. And one of the things that we wanted to overcome as the first view of the film came out was that one should not start looking at just that. So we've not built it up as a little person. We've not built it up as, oh, look what he can do in spite of being a little person. The idea was that it should be accepted as a complete normal thing. The message is that all of us are normal. And as long as you stop, if you go ahead and sympathize or underline something, then you're creating inequality. So I didn't prepare for it specifically thinking that little people would behave like this. I just did what the character demanded in the larger context, that he moves from one place to the other emotionally and physically, and his journey. And then VFX took care of the rest of it. Red Chillies visual effects company with Harry at the helm. They made there was forced perspectives, there's tunnels, there's a lot of set design, and obviously a lot of other post-production work. But they made it very easy for us in terms of eye lines. Also, there was one, not challenge, but one thing you had to become aware of very fast, and that was that what you do now, when it's transformed structurally and physically to look different, your emotion also changes. It's a strange thing. So you have to kind of imagine what it would be like when my physicality changes. So that's one thing one had to learn as one continued shooting.
This person also evolves because he learns about love through two different women coming of age. How do you define love?
To me, the context of love, there's only one context of love, that is respect. If there is no respect, I don't think love can be. Love can't be born or brought up or nurtured in a place where there is no respect. So whether it's for your girlfriend, whether it's for your wife, whether it's for your mother, for your friend, for any relationship, I think the basis of it should be respect. Beyond that, love's greatest quality is that it can be expressed in any which way you want. You can be quiet, you can be reticent, you can be larger than life, you can get the moons and stars for the girl that you love, or you can just take her for a chola bhatura. So I think the expression, that's the beauty of love, that as long as there is respect, the expression of love, we sometimes mistake the expression of love for love. Expression of love can be varied for different people, different characters, but I think the essence of love only thrives on respect.
Very, very nicely said. And no one falls in love on screen like you do. You know, over the time.
I'm a sucker for love.
Well, good for you. What was the scene that you loved the most of this movie?
There's a scene with Katrina when I see her first time where she kisses me. I think that was really beautiful. And there's a scene on the terrace with Anushka in the middle of the film somewhere. And also one more where she looks at me after I've kind of told her कि मैं कल रात 3:30 बजे तक आपसे नफरत करता रहा, फिर 5:45 बजे आपसे मोहब्बत हो गई. And she says, मोहब्बत हो गई, हाँ, से मोहब्बत हो गई. So I find that very sweet. But the end of that scene, after some bits happen, she looks at me and she says, will you have another drink? I think that was very romantic.
Very nice. Now they're saying that your character, they've defined it as charming, witty, and a little bit arrogant. Now, what are you like in real life? How would you define yourself?
Exactly like that.
Exactly like that,
I'm
huh?
charming, witty, handsome, and arrogant.
Well, I don't know about the arrogance, but I agree otherwise. On a lighter note, your son goes to USC. I told you a little bit earlier, LA was an uproar that Shah Rukh Khan's son is coming. So does that mean you come to LA more often?
I do, but it does take a little while, you know, to travel down. And when I come there, then he's so busy with his life that sometimes I feel, oh, I've traveled so much and I don't want to impose myself. So I go there twice, at least, or thrice. Or if I'm, you know, going through a tour. Last time I was going to Davos, I was going to the TED Talks in Canada, Vancouver. So I dropped in. But if I'm around, yeah, then I drop in. And you know, if I've gone to New York, maybe if I'm staying back for work, then I'll go. Yeah, but I do come more often now to LA.
Okay, well, good. LA will be very, very happy to
next time
bump
I'm
into
there,
you.
yes, it'll be lovely.
Yes, and speaking of your TED Talks, you know, I saw one of your talks in Harvard University and Cambridge.
Edinburgh.
Yeah, yes.
Edinburgh, yeah.
Very, very inspiring. What would you say to the young aspirants out there? Because you've not had it easy. You've had your fair share of trials and tribulations and worked up. If they want to be in your shoes, what piece of advice would you share with them?
I think you just have to keep it simple. There are a lot of incidentals and peripherals that come with wanting to be a movie star or a music star or a television star. And you know, perhaps you can partake in them as a part of your job, but that is not your job. Your job is to find the core inherent in what makes you want to do that job. So for me, acting is my job. Everything else that comes with it, the fame, the name, the awards, the monies, I think those will follow. So if you ever decide to get into film acting, then you have to hone your craft. You have to believe in your art. And you know, a lot of people believe that, oh, you can only get into this job if you're from within the film industry. I truly believe the uniqueness will come into the film industry when it's from the outside. So despite and in spite of a lot of negatives that you might face, oh, how will you do this? Please go ahead and do it, because it worked for me. Because I don't have a set piece pattern that, oh, I'm going to act like a hero. I'm playing a zero in a film, and I've played a bad guy in a film, I played a good guy in a film. I could only do it because I had the freedom from being told how a hero is made. And I think that brings in uniqueness to my job. And you know, just believe that what you think acting is, that's what acting is. Acting is not what people tell you to do or what people teach you to do. It's an expression of your inner self. So find that and express it, and the clothes and all are incidental, and inshallah you'll all do very well.
Well, very well said, thank you. And I could talk to you forever, but I've been told to wrap up, so I will wrap up. And we wish you continued success. May 2018 end with a bang for you, and Happy New Year.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you and all your viewers, and to all the people in LA, lots of love. And thank you once again. It's nice to meet you. I missed you.
Thank you.
Thank you.